Oh man.
We're not even on. We're not even on for 10 seconds.
That was on purpose.
Screw up.
No, that wasn't on purpose. I'm using the iPad today because it's harder to. For some reason my work computer won't allow me to get on the website. But my dumb
You're
fat
watching porn,
fingers.
that's why.
Yeah, that is not true. Work. I did not do that. But my dumb fat fingers, when you go to press one of these buttons by the way, Sam set this up fantastically, so I can't blame him. But because it's so small in here, me clicking one button clicks the other one accidentally. So I'm trying not to hit like the stop record or the stop streaming, because those are very important ones. So when I'm like trying to hunt back with like these fat little digits, it's a disaster.
Somebody needs a dialing wand.
Yeah, probably.
You need to mash the keypad with your palm now.
Yes,
all right,
we are
so
back.
welcome.
We are back.
Hello all. Welcome to Hockey and Tap Podcast. Season 6, Episode 1. Guys, 6 seasons. 176 episodes. Pretty crazy.
Dang.
I'm your host, Bill Dean. I'm, of course, joined by my 3 co-hosts, Shorts Guy, Steven, Schwim. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Brought to you by Sam Wu, Primetime Radio. I'm behind the glass, as you can see, because it keeps getting messed up. Please leave us a 5-star review if you'd be so kind. Gentlemen, I've already started drinking because I was so excited. So I pulled one beer out, which is by Bolero Snort. This is an Imperial Hard Seltzer with green apple and caramel. And then my second beer is going to be...
And lactose?
Nope, no lactose. Both of them no lactose. I have one for Steven to try, so suck it, Schwim. This one is Mayo Cherry Pie by 1911 Brewing. It's a small batch hard cider. So I'm going ciders today.
Neither of which are beers.
Okay.
No.
True, not beers. But we necessarily don't, we don't distribute
cider town.
Okay.
So
although this is pretty cool. It's an Imperial Hard Seltzer. What is an Imperial Hard Seltzer?
Well, what's the alcohol volume?
8.5%.
Yeah, there you go.
Is a doozy.
Yep, that's why. Okay.
I'm joining Dean in Cider Town.
Oh.
Whoa!
Cider
Oh,
it's tangy and
Cider
brown.
Town.
You're in Cider Town.
Well, unfortunately, it's not tangy and brown, but it's nice and golden and delicious.
I know somebody who is tangy and brown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cold.
This guy.
Yes, you are.
That's how I often
Cold.
describe you to people when I first meet them and tell them about you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Cold Crash from Pennings on tap in my house in a Mega Man 2 Woodman level glass.
I passed by Pennings on Saturday. Holy
probably a
crud!
mob
There were
scene.
so many people. It was crazy.
Mega
Yeah,
Man
no
just
cider donuts.
defeating Woodman.
Metal Blade.
Boom.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is what I'm drinking, and I'm sure there are a lot of females dressed as Han Solo taking pictures on the gram, not even really caring about apples, but they just wanted to be there.
Probably.
And
Maybe.
a lot of their children have X's in their names. Sorry.
It's all right. Esteban.
I just need to say that during the downtime, I have been fully converted, and I will show you where it begins. It begins right here,
Oh.
but also
Stephen finally came
Right
to his
here.
senses.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's a sheka. That's a
it
sheka.
is
Sure is.
in honor of William Dean's soon-to-be 5-0 fantasy football team.
I am massacring everybody in this league. It's
got
fantastic.
massacred.
And
I got
did you
200
see?
plus dropped
You
on me.
see who's on my team? No one really cares about fantasy football, by the way, or at least our
Yeah.
teams. No one cares. But I had starting this week Keon Coleman, Chase Brown, and Isaiah Likely, and it's only fitting that I dominated Brett with Isaiah Likely after he tried to pick him up in the first week and then complained that I got him for a better waiver priority. So
Yeah.
F off, Brett.
Yeah, Brett. Take that, Bort.
Suck it.
Suck
Brett.
it, Bort.
Yeah.
Not Schwinn
These
this
are
time.
top.
And this is
Seattle
why we're out of
Kraken
Bort license
fan.
plates.
What was that?
He's our Seattle Kraken expert.
He is.
Lifelong
He is.
That's
fan.
true. We need
We'll
to
have
bring him
him
on
on.
to discuss all things
Yeah.
Seattle Kraken.
Seattle
Yes.
Kraken.
Actually, that's you know what that's what we should do. For the podcast after each of our teams play the Kraken, we should have Brett on to
Yes.
discuss the game.
Well, if you
Fully
remember, we
assessed.
had him on when Vegas was initially introed into the league, and he was the biggest Vegas fan at the time.
Yeah.
And
he
all of a
dropped
sudden,
them like a sack of
During the
potatoes.
podcast,
we had
hastily
Yep.
transitioned.
yeah,
Expanded.
we had Daniel and Brett on to talk about Dallas and Vegas
Yep.
So
as our
technically, maybe
correspondents.
shouldn't Brett be a Utah fan now?
He
Should be.
probably should. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
I think
point.
he might have
Being-
transitioned to being a
Being
Utah
a
fan.
Mormon and all.
He could have. Super
All right,
soaker.
real quick, let me
He's
get my
super
beer out
soaker
of the
all
way.
Go,
Oh, yeah,
go,
Shrimp
get
It's
it.
It's
Shrimp's gotta
a
go.
special occasion since it's our first episode. I thought I'd bring out a new beer.
Ooh.
It's called.
One that hasn't been sitting in the fridge for the last 3 years.
Nah, it's only been sitting there for a couple months. I think it's called Yangalang. I don't know. It must have come up overnight. It's a new
okay.
brewery.
Craft.
I've never
Yeah.
new craft brewery. I'm trying this for the first time. I think it's
Okay.
called Yangalang.
That
Yeah,
sounds
I
right.
believe you're right. It
Yes.
sounds like it's
I'm gonna
correct.
try it out, guys. I'll let you know how this craft beer is.
Yeah,
I heard
let
it might
us
be
know.
America's oldest craft brewery. So
Might
I
be.
don't believe I thought it
Might
sprung
be.
up
I've never
overnight.
heard of it. I've never
Yeah.
heard of
Like a
it.
Krusty Burger, or no,
One
like
would
a
never
Burger
know.
King or whatever.
all right, let's get to what's on tap for today's episode.
Oh,
Here's our
boy.
weekly snapshot.
Yeah.
Season is about to get in full gear. Obviously, we had 2 games already. Shorts guys, Devils beating on the
Yes.
hapless Buffalo Sabres in
Top of the
Prague,
league, baby.
Czechia.
Top of the league.
Right? It was in
Top of the
Czechia?
league. 80 more to go undefeated.
Yeah, you guys are gonna
Yeah.
you're gonna
On
hit
pace
that.
play
be
real-
80
Buffalo every
tomorrow.
game. I think you would do it.
Mm-hmm. Whatever.
Um,
Top of the league. I'm going to enjoy it until
it's,
tomorrow.
it's very impressive.
President's Trophy or bust.
You heard it here. You heard
Yeah,
it
okay.
here.
You guys
President's
can have the
Trophy or
President's
bust.
Trophy.
Yes, enjoy it.
Right
It
now,
went
you
really
are
well
the
for us
frontrunner.
last year.
Yeah, we are the front runners to the President's Trophy right now.
All right, should I piss off people right away?
Yeah, I mean,
And
you already
just
did, but yeah.
you already pissed us off, so you might as well include everyone else.
All right, my top 20 NHL players for 24-25. You want to do top 50 or top 20?
Oh, we're doing that.
Top
We're
20.
just getting right into it, huh? We're just
Oh
gonna be
yeah,
like,
we're going.
let's
for
dive
more.
in.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
yeah.
right
All
in.
right, let's
What do
just
you
let's
feel
have
like?
it.
50 or 20?
20.
20.
50 is too many.
20.
Way too many.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll be here
all right, well,
until next week.
I did 50 because a happy. I put Adam Fox at 27, which I think is not
Of course
bad.
you did.
Well,
Rempe's
come on,
probably 7.
He's a top.
Rempe's
he's
probably
a top-
7.
No, Rempe's not even close to it.
Rempe, I
Well, then you're not
guarantee
really
is
a
in the
Ranger
top
fan
50.
then.
Vasilevsky is
Yeah, you're
24
not really a Ranger
for
fan.
Schwim. Just so you hear that one. I unfortunately had to put Jack Hughes in the top 20. I put him at 19. Miro Heiskanen is
My
20.
friend,
So the only
Okay.
defenseman above. Sorry, there's only 2 defensemen above. 3 defensemen above Adam Fox, and it's Miro Heiskanen. It is. Actually, I put 4. I didn't realize I did that.
Yeah,
either.
I was gonna say. There's
Uh,
if you're leaving one out, I'm gonna smack you next time I see
It's Heiskanen. It is Kel McCart at 4, Quinn Hughes at 10, and I have Victor Hedman at 13.
you. Well, and Roman Yossi is a better defenseman than
You think Miro
Adam
Heiskanen than Heiskanen?
definitely than Fox.
Well, I have him at 21. I have Yossi at 21.
Okay.
You said not the top
Where,
50.
and Heiskanen's at 20.
You think he's top 20?
I actually, you know what? I think I
I think
would
I'd flip
put
that.
Yossi. I would probably put Yossi ahead of Hedman at this point in their careers.
Really?
Not by
Okay.
much. Not
Alright.
to disrespect Hedman at all, because I love Hedman. I respect the hell out of him, but Yossi is
He has accomplished a lot, but Yossi's like
one of
younger
the best
and
every year.
Still accomplishing.
probably one of the best ones. Yeah.
All right, so I had Heiskanen at 20, Hughes at 19. I had Kirill Kaprizov because I think he's going to light it up this year at 18. 17
Actually,
Eichel.
I think I'd rather have Yossi than Quinn on my team if I'm picking.
Yeah, maybe. All right, well, it's my list.
Yossi's
so
like the
F off.
complete package. He's everything. He's offense and
Well,
defense.
so is Hedman.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
throwing
and
guys
captain,
at that
but-
fucking guy.
I think
And
Yossi
captain.
will outscore Hedman.
And Kel McCarr.
Uh,
Kel McCarr is very underrated defensively.
Kel McCarr's a freak of nature. He's not
He is.
underrated. Did you say he's underrated?
Defensively.
underrated?
Defensively.
Defensive?
underrated.
No, I don't think he's underrated defensively.
I don't
He's-
think people
I don't
think
he's
of him as a
underrated.
as
I
a
don't-
good
yeah,
defensive
people
defenseman.
definitely don't think of him. They only think
He's
about
not
the
elite.
offense.
He's
No.
not elite
I
defensively.
was listening.
But that's
real
why I said
quick, I was
underrated.
listening to the Locked On, I think Tampa podcast, and the guy called Cal McCarr. Called him Cal Maker, and I laughed my ass
Cal
off.
Maker?
That makes
He
sense.
called
Cal
him Cal
Maker?
Maker.
Looks like I
the
got,
amount of
oh,
I gotta
God.
take,
valuable.
I gotta take
Great
off my
job.
shirt now. I gotta take off this newly
Yeah,
acquired Tampa
seriously.
Bay Lightning shirt now.
Who's
16
on that
Yep.
shirt?
Schwinn.
Oh, should we see?
I think so.
It's a Gunsel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gensel's
Uh,
Pretzels. I don't have
16 is
that.
Braden Point.
Okay.
15 is
Okay.
Artemi Panarin. 14 is Pasta. 13 Mikko Rantanen. 12 Hedman, as I said.
I think he should be below them.
10 is Barkov. 11 is Barkov. 10 is Quinn Hughes. 9 is Kachuk. 8 is Sidney Crosby. 7 Cooch. 6 is Igor. 5 Draisaitl. 4 Makar. 3 Austin Matthews. 2 McKinnon. 1 Connor Mack.
I think I agree with your top three.
Yeah, that's a pretty
Not bad.
top 4.
Not bad
Wait,
overall.
who would you put at 4?
I don't remember who you had it for.
Makar at 4. Draisaitl 5. Top 5.
Also, yeah, also good.
Okay.
Who's 5?
Yeah.
Draisaitl.
Who's 6?
Draisaitel's 5. Who was?
Shesterkin.
Wait, who was 3?
Matthews.
Matthews. Matthews or Draisaitl?
I think at this stage it's Matthews. If it was 2 years ago, it would be Draisaitl.
Okay.
2 years ago, Draisaitl would probably be 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Fair enough. I don't think you pissed anybody off, did you?
well, I
Because
mean,
Jack
probably
Hughes
just-
wasn't higher.
maybe. Oh yeah, probably because Shorts guy didn't. You can't tell me that he's better than the guys I put in there at the top. He's not better than Hedman.
Who?
He's not better than Rantanen.
Me?
He's not better than.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say
I thought
anything.
you were shaking your head like you didn't like it.
I said nothing.
Oh, okay.
I said
Steven-
nothing. I'm
Steven was
surprised you don't
inferring.
have. I'm surprised you don't have Rempe in your top 10 because every Ranger
Yeah,
fan
yeah.
thinks he's the next Messiah. They're going to
Well, then
retire his
you-
73 when he when he gets
All right.
shipped down to Hartford.
Before we do our team preview, players on new teams. So I'm gonna say a player, and I want you guys to tell me what team he is now currently on. Yeah, I think we're
Great.
gonna like
I'm going
this.
to fail at this one.
Yeah.
Zach Aston
You're
Reese.
assuming,
Where
Short guys paid
is
attention.
Robbie Fabry?
Yes,
He's in Anaheim.
Milton, Delaware.
Anaheim Ducks. Good job, Steve.
Nice.
Where is Tyler Toffoli?
L.A. Oh no, San
No.
Jose.
No.
Sorry,
San Jose
Sorry,
Sharks.
Yes,
San Jose.
Jose.
Sorry.
Where
Good one.
is Anthony Mantha?
Oh shit.
Oh man, he's in.
Is he?
See, I know.
I don't know where he is. Is he in the West?
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
He's on a really bad
he's
team.
on Calgary. He's on Calgary.
Yep, Calgary Flames.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where is Jeff Skinner? Layup.
Buff-
Edmonton.
No,
Edmonton.
Edmonton Oilers.
Edmonton.
Yeah.
Where is Tanner
Sorry.
Jeannot? Schwim.
L.A. You got traded
LA
there.
Kings. Where is Ilya Samsonov?
Vegas.
Is he Vegas? Yeah.
Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where is Danton Heinen?
Was he signed?
Yeah.
Did he go to a PTO?
No, he's signed.
I have
1 year
no
deal.
idea where he
Boston.
is.
Is he back in Boston?
No.
Or he was
He
there.
went
last
to the
year?
same. He went to the same place his former teammate went. Jake DeBrusk.
Vancouver?
He's a Vancouver Canuck.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Where did Brandon Montour go?
Seattle?
Seattle Kraken.
Yep.
Where did Jack Roslovic go?
Where did he end up?
He is in the Metro.
Columbus? No.
Nope.
No,
he was on
just
Columbus. Yeah.
There. You go to Carolina?
Philly,
Carolina Hurricanes. Yep.
Carolina.
Carolina.
Where did Anthony Duclair go?
Isle.
Isle.
Ugh, I hate that team.
But we won't speak
So
of
that-
them.
Maybe Shorts I can
No.
get one right. Where did Stefan Nason go?
He went to our team, of course.
Yeah, all right, I'm
Scored the
just
first goal of the
trying to
NHL
give you-
season, baby.
Come
trying to
on.
give you a little
Come
bit
on.
of-
Where did
Where did
GTO, what's his face? The Devil's Head. What was his name?
Anthony
Kevin LeBanc?
Anthony Oblivious go?
He's in
Pittsburgh.
the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Penguins.
He's gonna be starting on line 1
Yeah.
against your New York Rangers.
Anthony Bavillier.
Rangers.
Oh no, I just did him. Andrew Mangiapane is what I meant to say.
He's
Washington?
in Washington.
The
Yeah.
Caps.
Janks.
They actually
Matt
had
Roy.
I think they actually had a pretty good offseason.
Matt
Who did?
Roy.
Also Washington.
I think Washington did.
Also Washington. David Perron.
Perron
Where
is.
the frick did he go? You go to
Is he in
Chicago?
California?
Atlantic.
Atlantic.
He's above the border.
Ottawa?
Ottawa
Montreal.
Senators.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Ah.
I didn't know that. I was just guessing.
Ryan McLeod. And Jason Zucker.
Zucker's in Buffalo.
They're both Buffalo.
Oh, they're both in Buffalo? Okay.
Eric Gustafson, former New York Ranger.
I don't have a clue.
I don't have a clue.
Detroit Red Wings.
Okay.
Adam Boqvist.
Didn't he go to Florida?
Florida?
Your Stanley Cup Florida Panthers.
Oh, all
Did you
right.
see the rings, by the way?
Yes, they are
No,
They're
I have not.
ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Are
they
they?
are enormous
cool.
and they are way absurd. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. Schwim, Cam Atkinson.
Ugh. Connor Sherry 2.0. Tampa.
Anthony Stolars. Should be easy.
Where did Stolarz
Toronto?
go?
Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oof.
Oliver Shillington.
I don't know where he went.
Steven, nothing?
No.
Colorado Avalanche.
Okay.
Matt
Good
Dumba
for him.
is on this team.
Dallas.
It's very
And it's
Dallas.
awful. And he's like their top
Yeah.
pair of defensemen.
It's very funny.
It's not good.
Yakov Trenin.
Yakov Smirnov. I don't know.
Minnesota Wild. Scott Wedgwood. Nashville Predators.
Yeah.
Where did Teuvo Teravainen go?
Chicago.
Chicago. What about Tyler Bertuzzi?
You just said him already.
I didn't say
Did?
Bertuzzi.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Or no, you said Toffoli. I was thinking Bertuzzi.
He
Wow,
didn't say Toffoli.
Where did Bertuzzi go? Chicago also?
Also Chicago. Yep.
Hmm.
Matthew Joseph, Steven.
St.
Why me?
Louis?
Oh, in Pittsburgh.
Well, he was on Pittsburgh.
He's never on Pittsburgh.
Him and his
He
brother.
almost-
Oh.
The other.
I'm
him
thinking
and his
Theo
brother on the
Joseph.
same team now.
We have
They
a
are both
disagreement
on
here.
the St. Louis Blues. John Marino, we know, went to Utah. Where did Capo
Yes, he did.
Kakkonen go? The final guy. Capo Kakkonen.
Kakkonen went to
San Jose?
No, he was
Nope.
there.
Oh, did he go to Winnipeg?
Winnipeg Jets. Good job, Shorts.
Yes.
He's backing up
Thank
the
you.
Vezina winner from
Where'd Brossois go?
2003-4.
You went to-
Brossois
You go to
went
Vegas?
to Chicago.
Chicago.
He's
Who
the
the hell went to
starter of
Vegas? Oh, Samsonov. right?
Samsonov. Yeah.
Samsonov, and we sent Kier Schmid there as well.
Schmid.
I forget who. I forget who Washington brought in as their goaltender. It's escaped me right now, but
Oh,
his mask is pretty rad.
What's
Was
his
it
face?
Logan Thompson?
From Vegas. Yeah, Logan Thompson.
It was Logan Thompson.
Remember
Yeah, his mask
Remember he
is
got
pretty
traded?
rad.
He got traded while he was
Oh,
signing
yeah.
autographs at the.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Oh, that
I
was
feel
great.
like that's like forever ago. It's like
Oh,
forever
man.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor guy.
I can't wait till we. I cannot wait until we do this next season, and you have to say where did Lafreniere go to, and Schwim gets to say Tampa Bay Lightning.
Connor Sherry, straight up.
I get to
Oh,
say
yeah.
Tampa Bay Lightning
Yes, you
It's true,
do,
he's a
guy.
diehard
You
Tampa
do.
fan now.
as the new Tampa fan.
Which, by the way, you guys didn't go down to Delaware with us. No one was forced into having any Coors Light this year.
No,
They didn't magically appear on the bar.
They did not.
no,
They
I was
did not.
Wow.
already full throated in hiccups that Coors Light was not gonna do any good.
Vomit everywhere.
Yeah. However, we did drink some imports. I had a Dos Equis Amber.
Oh, yeah,
Nice.
I had. What did I have? Tecate.
You had a Tecate, yeah. Yeah, we went a little wild out there, Delaware.
Yeah, Tecate and Dos Equis.
You guys are
And,
really.
And
Should have had a
Ravens
Modelo
fans.
for Marty.
And yes, one special Ravens fan. Oh, what a great time Delaware is.
Very.
We should
Always
go down
very
there.
good.
We should bring the podcast down to Dogfish Head, just because we can, and we should.
Yeah. Just need to figure out reception.
We'll figure it out. Sam will make it work.
Sam
Sam
He
makes
always
everything
does.
work. Sam makes everything work.
Sam makes the world
Get it.
go round.
Get a free T-shirt, maybe out of the deal.
Yes. Maybe, maybe when he takes over the world, Steven will own the Denver Broncos.
Oh, maybe.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Shrimp can have the
On the East
Philadelphia
Coast,
Eagles.
drop him a line.
I don't want.
You know who the Denver
rather have the
Broncos
Dallas
beat
Cowboys.
while we were in Delaware?
Yeah, great.
Who, Steven? Who?
Why-
Who?
I actually watched some of that game, and I couldn't believe their quarterback stats, and they won the game.
I
He had,
just
like,
like
60
the
yards
end of the
passing.
game.
And won the game.
We tuned in.
So awful. He was negative like 20 to
In the first
start the
half.
second. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
for some. And then he finished the game with 60
New York
yards, and,
Jets suck
and they won. the
major
game.
league, but
My
suck
sister turned that
butt.
game on. My sister
the
turned that
perfect
game
timing.
on, and the Jets were lined up for that game-winning field goal.
Yeah, I think they were in like
And he missed it.
last. We saw like the last.
may have been
3
the
plays
last
before
drive.
before the field goal attempt. We saw the 2 plays. Or I think Rodgers got sacked and something happened. I don't know. Then he lined up for the field goal. I remember turning to you. I was like, "Oh, if he makes this, there's still enough time for Denver to try to score the game winner."
Didn't he do?
I'm just like, and I was like, "Oh my god, he missed it."
yeah,
I think
so
that
awful.
was one of the loudest laughs I think I've let out in a while.
Yeah,
I-
it was.
I
don't know.
laughed
I
pretty
feel like
good
if
on
it
that
wasn't the Jets, it wouldn't be as.
It wouldn't
funny.
be as funny.
I really hate
No,
this
it
team.
wouldn't.
Anyways.
Oh, that little
All
kid
right.
in Big Daddy had it right.
New York Jets. All right. I'm going to do my rankings 32-1, and we'll talk about the teams this way. So if you guys have any objections, let me know. But I decided to do it this way. At the 32 ranked team, I have the worst team from last year's season, the San Jose Sharks. They had 47 total points. They're plus 40,000 to make the Stanley Cup. They added Askarov in a trade, so good young goalie that they get in
Down
there.
in the minors.
Obviously,
Yeah,
Macklin
they sent him down.
Celebrini, first overall pick, very good young player. Cody Ceci, Barclay Gaudreau, Will Smith, Tyler Toffoli, Wallman, Wenberg, a couple other players. They're notable, negative, they're guys they let go. LeBlanc, Kellen Addison, nothing big.
Where did
What-
LeBlanc go? Because he turned down a
He
contract.
signed
right,
with
Devils?
Columbus. He
Columbus,
had a PTO with
Columbus,
the
yeah.
Devils,
Columbus picked him up, yeah.
but he didn't want to go through waivers, and Columbus
Yes,
snagged him.
snag
Offered him
him.
a contract.
I feel like
And
Yeah.
he signed
Oh,
him.
yeah.
was he afraid he'd end up back in San Jose? So,
I don't. Maybe.
I mean, all respect to
No,
Columbus,
that would be
but, I mean, as far
signing
as-
signing with the Rangers would send him back to San Jose because that's what they
That's
like
true.
to do over there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Little Barclay.
Anything you guys want to say about the San Jose Sharks? Anything that could, Celebrini, they're probably looking for him to get a, Calder
I hope he
trophy,
does.
but
Yeah, I hope he does well.
Is he
but-
going to play this season? Are they going to have him
Yeah, he's
on
fine.
the
Oh, yeah.
roster?
right away.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they have so many good prospects. It's just like they're going to be bad
Yeah.
for a while, and then once these kids all to get together, they're going to be a really, really like if they all stay together, they're going to be a really
Will
good team.
Smith, like they have some
Will
really,
Smith is awesome. Friggin'
They do.
who's that? The D guy they drafted too, who's going to be good. Dickinson or something, or
I think it's,
I forget his name.
yeah, something.
He's really good. They have a lot of good prospects, so they just got to put it all together.
If Askarov pans out,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
He could be good.
He's gonna be good in a
They could
couple
be a
years.
really
Him
good
and-
team eventually.
He
Him and
didn't
Dustin
get
Wolf.
hurt, did he?
Askarov?
No,
I don't
No,
think
he
so.
just
I
got
thought
sent
I
down to the
heard a
minors.
rumor
just
that
got
he got
demoted.
hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're rolling Vanacek
they still have.
and what's his name? Blackwood.
And it's checking Blackwood, yeah.
They still have like Logan Couture and a bunch of other guys. Some
Mhm.
vets in there that. Like we said, we talked about Tyler Toffoli, but some guys that, if healthy, could help grow this team.
He's
Mikhail
a once
Granlund.
proud franchise.
Yeah, this
I mean,
is a team that had
seeing the Shark Tank full during the playoffs year in year out was always a wild experience.
Eklund's a
You know,
good young winger.
seeing them battle it out with Vegas was always fun too. Like
Yeah.
I know it's only been recent, but that turned into a pretty heated rivalry really quickly.
They have, I think it's Celebrini is staying with Jumbo Joe, and Will Smith is staying with Patrick Marlowe to start the year.
Okay,
That'll be
pretty good.
their roommates.
Pretty good mentors.
yeah, big time.
All right, my 31st ranked team, and once again, let me know if you guys have any issues with these. It would be one Columbus Blue Jackets, 66 points last year, plus 30,000 to make the cup.
To win the
Sean
cup
Monahan,
or make it to the Stanley Cup?
to win the cup, plus 30,000.
To win the cup. Holy shit.
Yeah. Sean Monahan, Van Riemsdyk, obviously, losing. They've Jake Bean, Boquist, but Johnny Gaudreau was a huge loss. We weren't around for when he passed away. Just awful, but that's a horrible blow to an organization. Despite how well Johnny was playing for them. That coming on the heels, what was a few years ago when they lost the goaltender for a fireworks incident, Kivalenix.
Yeah.
Just horrible, and you feel so bad. He's got his best friend Kevin Hayes there, who lost his brother just 2 years ago. Like everything around this entire team, you want them to do so well and to have success, just because you feel so bad for the organization and these players. But they do have a lot, some good things to look forward to. Obviously, Adam Fantilli's, second overall pick from 2 years ago, a kid that has, pretty high ceiling. You get a couple of good goaltending prospects. Boone Jenner, if he's healthy, I know he's an injury, but a decent captain, guy who can lead this franchise. Werenski's thought of as a top 20 defenseman, but Kirill Marchenko and Ivan Provorov, Kent Johnson, Sean Monahan, Igor Shinikov.
If they get it together, it's not terrible, but they just got to get it together. And the one thing that could surprise Columbus, could surprise people, is they could galvanize themselves around the loss of Johnny Gaudreau, and they could. I'm not saying they will, but they could potentially use that as some kind of a motivator too. Sometimes grief gets more out of people than not. So I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we could see them with a pretty solid, at least a good solid start of the season, and then maybe trail off as it goes on. But it's possible.
Yep. Michael Hay, Danielle Manayan, got a bunch of people saying hi to us. Appreciate the love on.
Don't forget
Facebook
Elizabeth
Live.
Dean.
Yep, she's on there too.
Woo!
All right, number 2. Anyone else got anything on Columbus? Number 30 ranked team, Anaheim Ducks, plus 30,000, 59 points, missed the playoffs. Brought in Dumoulin, Fabry, Harkins. They lost Jakob Silverberg, sorry. He retired, right? What happens with Trevor Zegras, who I believe is going to get traded? They just, for some reason, he's just not a player that organization values. But they have a lot of good young players. Cutter Gauthier could get 30 tallies this season. Leo Carlson.
Those two alone. And McTavish.
Zegras, Frank Vetrano was a 37 goal scorer last year. Radko Gudas is the captain. Just makes me laugh. Cam Fowler, obviously a guy who's been there for forever, and I could see him moving at the deadline, especially to a contender. Until they get Carlson and McTavish and Gauthier in here and really, getting heavy, hardcore minutes. I also like Pavel Mintyukov, by the way. Very good young defenseman. Yeah. But until they get them going, this team is just, it's, not a laughingstock, but it's one of the bad teams. Greg Cronin's could be a good coach, but they're just not a playoff team. They're not even close.
They're like San Jose. They're like, eventually, they have a lot of good prospects, but eventually, right now, they're not going to be good. They're going to be bad for a little bit, and then eventually, their prospects will hopefully mature, and that could be a pretty good rivalry. Anaheim, San Jose, they could be like two powerhouses out in the West going at it. They could be pretty entertaining to watch.
They very well could be.
Both those organizations have really good prospects. So
Brooke Amanda on YouTube Live. I like the blonde hair more with a backwards hat.
Of course she does.
Nice.
Thank you, Brooke.
Oh, and then
Thank you,
I
Brooke.
like it.
And then the message after that.
Yeah.
Shit, that was supposed to be a text. Well, Shorts guy getting some love. All right.
It's about time.
Chicago Blackhawks,
Thanks, guys.
29 ranked.
You know you don't love me, Dean.
Nope, don't. Bertuzzi, TJ Brody, Laurent Brossoit, Patrick Maroon, Ilya Mikheyev, Alec Martinez, Craig Smith, Teuvo Tavainen. They brought in a lot of veteran players to play with Connor Bedard, obviously the Calder winner and future superstar, to get him, some help and to make his life easier and to make it so that this team, has a trajectory going up. Obviously, on Bedard's wing, Tyler Bertuzzi is a very good player to have around. Alex Martinez is a good value, if you're looking for, a steady defenseman. But Seth Jones is probably someone that's going to get traded, or could be traded. Obviously not a playoff team, but is this team's trajectory coming up, along with Bedard, like besides Bedard, right? Do you guys see this franchise as on the rise, or is it only
they don't
because
really have? They don't have
I don't think they improved
other
that much
young
this year.
talent.
Yeah.
Like
they
the other
have a
ones
couple
are
guys.
loaded with
They have
prospects.
a couple guys,
but,
but nobody like some of the other
They're
teams
kind
out
of
there. Out there in the
yeah,
West.
they're kind of thin otherwise.
Yeah, I mean,
they're just kind of
Phil
filling roster spots with random
Khrushchev
injury-prone veterans.
is 24. Lucas Reichel's 22.
I like Khrushchev, but he's also what is he projected to be, like a minus 44 this season or something like that?
That's very
Oh,
funny.
God, a minus.
Artem
He's
He's good for
Levchinov,
like a point. He's never going to
Their
have
first
multiple
round-
He's really
points.
good. The kid that they just
their
drafted,
first round
yeah.
defenseman, Anton Levchinov,
good.
is 18,
He'll
6'2".
be
He
good.
might make the team out of camp, which is pretty impressive.
It is
Well, they had to
impressive
set their
that
rosters.
he
Is
can-
he
And-
there?
Yeah, and I
Oh, yeah, they had
actually
to
didn't
set-
see.
So
Today was the deadline for rosters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
just saw
Laurent
the Devils
Brossoit-
roster.
Laurent Brossoit is a good goaltender, I think.
He's
I
not number
guarantee
one.
he'll eventually be the starter. I
Can
think
he
they'll
do it
they'll a split.
As a starter,
And then-
I mean, he was a good goalie with a
Chicago?
good team in front of him.
Yeah,
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's when a goaltender has a shaky team in front of him, a goaltender can be bad.
Michael Hay, not right. Chicago moving up, not playoffs. Good grid. Montreal Canadiens,
playoffs.
76 points. They already lost Patrick Laine for an extended period of time. He was their major addition in the offseason. Kaelan Gooley's
another
coming back from an
injury.
appendectomy. Lane Hudson comes in, though. A lot of people like him. Logan Mailloux, Justin Barron, Arbor Jacki, Slavkovsky turning it around, possibly having a very good junior, third-year season. Suzuki, Caulfield, Mike Matheson, Kirby Doc. Is this do they have a chance
No.
at the playoffs?
Don't say that.
All right.
Don't
I
say
don't
that
think
word.
so.
Thank you.
No.
Is St. Louis
don't
still
say
the
the P
coach?
word.
Yep, Marty
Hey,
is.
Yep,
Marty is still
he's
the
like
coach.
he's
I
like
love
the
Marty.
fifth longest tenured coach in the league.
Yes,
now.
it's
great.
crazy. Yeah.
My gosh.
27, Calgary
Nuts.
Flames. Dustin Wolf will be their starter full-time. Dan Vladar. They're bringing Jake Bean, Ryan Lomberg, Anthony Mantha.
I don't see that being good.
Yeah, I like Dustin Wolf a
Actually, I
lot.
think
I don't know.
Montreal's probably. I think Montreal has
Is
a better
better?
chance of being better than
Mm.
Calgary.
Okay.
Battle
Sharon
for Alberta will
Govich.
be one-sided.
I think that the top-end talent still, though, in Calgary is better than Montreal. I think Sharon Govich is a better player. Nazem Kadri. You have
Whatever's left of Huberdeau.
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 But what's the captain,
Maybe
Backlund,
he can bounce back.
who I like a lot.
Oh, it's Miss Mim.
Oh, hello, Mim.
Miss
Hey,
Mim's
Mim.
not pleased.
Nope.
26, Seattle
Why did you pick
Kraken,
me up?
81 points. Chandler Stevenson brought in
Him.
Brandon Montour. They lose Chris Drieger, Brian Dumoulin, Justin Schultz. Matty Beniers had a horrible second season.
Yeah, he needs a bounce.
Well,
back.
not horrible, but he needed
Underwhelming.
a big time. Underwhelming. Thank you.
Yeah.
They signed him to a 7-year extension worth $7.14 million annually, so
Ah.
he needs to take that next step.
He's
Yeah,
still
he
young
does.
as hell, so he can definitely do it. He's got the
Yeah.
talent to do it, and he just did not have a good sophomore year.
Dan
Sophomore slump.
Bylsma, new coach, has hired Jessica Campbell, who will be the first woman coach on a bench, which is awesome.
I'll tell you what, when
she-
Shane Wright was recalled at the end of the season, he was lights out. So hopefully if he can build on that, because he didn't start the season very well, and then he was sent back to the AHL, and then he came up and he was rolling, and then he went back down.
Him and Beniers as 1-2
they can
could
get
be
both of those guys going.
Yeah.
Holy crap, they can be really dangerous with those two guys.
Yeah. Ottawa centers I have at 25. Obviously the big guys, right? Stutzla, Kachuk, Jake Sanderson, Tarma Shabbat, Pinto, Norris, Jake Batherson. It's a team that should make a run for the playoffs. Linus Ullmark comes into Ottawa. He's on a 1-year deal. I don't think they make the playoffs again, and I think Ullmark's gone, and this is just a franchise that just can't get out of their own way.
Yeah,
I could see that happen. I could see the wheels
Ullmark's
coming
gone
off.
after the season?
Yeah, he's got a 1-year deal. I don't think he likes it there, especially if they don't win. Why would he stay?
Yeah.
He might be a trade candidate at the deadline. He really could.
Could be.
If the
He
team's
could be,
horrible,
because
I
if they're not in the playoffs and there's a team that wants a really solid backup, watch he gets traded back to frickin'
He could be a starter. Yeah, he goes
Boston,
back to
right?
Boston.
watch him
Yeah.
back to Boston.
I can see that.
Philadelphia Flyers at 24, 87 points. Matvei Michkov is going to be ridiculous. He's going to play with Owen Tippett and I believe it was Owen Tippett and Konechny. Pretty good starting three.
That's some good speed.
Drysdale could have a breakout on defense. Obviously, you have Tyson Forster and Morgan Frost, Sean Couturier as the captain. I don't think they're a playoff team, but they're going to be exciting, especially with Michkov.
I think also their first round pick didn't he make the team?
Jet Luchanko or Luchanko?
Yeah, Luchanko or whatever his name is. I think he made the roster.
Jet. Yeah,
he's apparently pretty impressive also. So
yeah, they're probably the third center. Yeah,
they could surprise. I think they could surprise some teams. I don't know if they're going to be like a bona fide.
Well, that's what they were last year, right? They were a surprise team, and then they just kept going.
They almost. They missed it by. Did they miss it by a point?
Yeah.
Right?
Is that Ryan? You know what? I haven't followed up at all on that Ryan Johansson situation.
Yeah, so he's still.
They
still tried to do
the league or something.
Yeah, he's trying to get.
There's an appeal, so what is it? They're trying to terminate his contract, but he's
conduct
appealing or
detrimental
something along those lines. I forget what it is. It's something.
Yeah, which is crazy because he played every single game last year for Colorado, and they're saying that he had injuries, issues. It's just a bunch of stuff. I haven't really followed up either, but they filed a grievance for Johansson versus the Flyers.
He hated Torts in Columbus, and now he's back with them. So.
Yeah. They terminated his contract, so that's contract breach is what they're trying to go on. The agent says the center has a severe injury. But yeah, we'll see what happens. 23, the Buffalo Sabres. 0-2 Buffalo Sabres. Sam Lafferty, Jason Zucker, James Reimer. Although Reimer was then cut and then signed by. Yeah, who did you get signed by?
Somewhere else.
Vegas?
He went
in Vegas.
to where did he go?
Where did
he go? Vancouver or something?
Yeah, I saw somewhere.
He went. I think he went
out. Jeff Skinner on the buyout. Victor Olofsson said Blake Coleman, good guy. We do like Blake Coleman. He's a good guy. Victor Olofsson, Jeff Skinner, Semgus Jurgensen's. Obviously, that defense is and could be nasty with Bowen Byram.
He's on the Ducks. Reimer.
He's on the Ducks? Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a perfect place for him. He's a shithead, too.
Devin Levi. Devin Levi was fantastic in that game against the Devils. He's the reason why that game wasn't out of hand.
Yeah, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen's obviously going to be a starter, but Levi, after last year, everyone thought that me too, I drafted him in fantasy, thought that he would be the next big goaltender. But he'll be the backup. Yep. JJ Peterka.
Yeah, he played very well.
Dylan Cousins, Tage Thompson, Alex Tuck, Rasmus Dahlin, Owen Power. Their defense
so many pieces
could be
just
nasty.
Can't put it together.
Yep. I'm gonna my bold prediction. Not bold, but I think they make the playoffs. I think they're the 8th team.
That's a bold prediction.
That is a very bold prediction. And JJ would be very pleased.
Yeah. I think
I can't trust the Buffalo Sabres. Every year I think I'm like, oh, this is gonna be their year. They're gonna turn it around, and they completely disappoint.
22 St. Louis Blues. 92 points. They missed the playoffs. Broberg, they bring in off of the waivers. Same with Dylan Holloway. They bring in P.O. Joseph.
That was great.
Matthew Joseph. Yeah.
The friggin' we actually saw
the whole waiver thing.
What do you call it? What the hell is it called?
restricted free agents. They offer sheeted them. Right?
Offer sheet. That's it.
Offer, yeah.
So
which doesn't
what I
happen
don't
often.
like, obviously they targeted them because Bowman goes there and he's POS.
I don't think that's why he was targeted. I like to think that's why he was targeted.
But a lot of people said, then why didn't you do it 2 years ago to Edmonton when they had what's his name was RFA? I think it was targeted a little
Probably
bit,
because
but
the price. Whoever you're talking about, I think the price was a lot more. The draft pick price.
I'd have to take a look, but
because these guys were relatively cheap
these guys,
but these guys,
but
$4.5 million for Broberg, or was it 4.5, or was it?
I'm not even talking about the contract. I'm talking about the draft compensation.
Oh yeah. Well, both Josephs, Alexander Texier, Ryan Suter, they lose Kevin Hayes, but Neighbors is a fun guy to watch. Pavel Buchnevich, former Ranger. I mean, Torrey Krug's out for another year, which is crazy. He's already out season ankle surgery.
Poor guy.
Binnington, Hothead, Robert Thomas, Kyrou. They have a bunch of guys that could be fun. Parayko.
They're another team I'm still not convinced by.
No, I don't think they're a playoff team.
No. They'll make some noise here and there, but I don't know if they'll.
I like them though, and there's players on the team that I like, but
I feel like the West is too competitive, and I think they're going to end up getting
right now
lost.
at least. Yeah.
The West is going to be fun. We'll talk about who we think the playoffs versus non. But Utah Hockey Club, 21. Ian Cole, Liam O'Brien, John Moreno. They're going to be the Yeti. Sergachev, Stenland. They bring in Sergachev in trade. They give up J.J. Moser, and you also got Morgan, not Geekie.
Connor Geekie.
Connor Geekie, thank you.
Connor Geekie. Who made the team, by the way.
Yeah. He fought somebody after. What's his name?
You know what happened in
Hedman
that game?
Run. Hedman got destroyed.
He got nailed on a clean hit, and then
it was clean.
Went after the guy hit him.
Yeah,
which I don't know. And then Geekie was on the bench, and it wasn't his shift. It was like Hagel's shift.
He came off.
He told Hagel, he's like, "You're not going on. I'm going on." And he jumped the boards and just went and destroyed this guy. I'm like, that's pretty ballsy.
He got a suspension for that because of an illegal line change.
He got a 1-game suspension.
Yeah.
Really?
No, because he came. No, because he came off the bench and just went, directly to fight a guy.
Yeah, I think it's called an illegal line change. Is actually the NHL rule.
Oh. He didn't jump. He didn't jump the bench illegally or anything like that. It's just he immediately went to fight, which you can't do. But pretty ballsy by a 19-year-old.
We'll see how Sergachev does in his new season, new club over in Utah. Top defenseman.
Power play.
Obviously, Marino there too. Alexander Tournier, the coach. On defense, besides those two, they got Sean Dursey, who I really like a lot. UC Valley Maki. Connor Ingram in the net. Same thing with Valimaki. Logan Cooley is going to be fantastic. And you have so many good young players. I have them as my 8th spot in the Western Conference.
Don't forget Gunter.
Yeah, Gunter too.
Oof.
Yeah, 50 goal.
Really
think of how annoyed
Arizona
fans are going to be.
Yeah,
if they sneak in.
I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're a team that's really growing the right way.
That fan will be.
Yeah, that one fan.
Hey,
we met a bunch of them.
We met that.
He was wearing a B suit.
Yep, and he loved Shorts Guy.
He
loved Shorts Guy.
I'm pretty sure he was paid to be there, so I wouldn't go so
far. Number 20, Washington Capitals, PLD, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Andrew Mangiapane, Chikrin,
How long
Matt
till
Roy,
he's a bust?
Logan Thompson. I think this is it for him. So I think he has a decent year. I'm not gonna say good or great year, but I think he's decent for them. Him and McMichael, Tom Wilson, obviously Ovi going for the record, which will be the only thing they talk about in Washington because they're not going to make the playoffs. John Carlson, Dylan Strome. It's a okay team built around a guy that's just trying to get the goal record.
Yeah, and they're hoping that Pierre-Luc Dubois will be kept in line by Tom Wilson. But I don't know.
Assistant
captain. I don't know if anyone can keep him in line. I don't know. He seems to be a problem everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
So
there's no way. Like we're all in agreement that there's no way Ovi's getting the record this season, right?
How many does he need?
How far away is he again?
40
something goals.
Yeah, I don't think he hits it this year.
Probably not, depending on how much cocaine he does, or if he's on the roids again.
Could we think definitely next year? I think definitely next year.
I think next year's.
I think he'll get like 30 something at least. But he's not. He's a UFA, right? But he'll keep signing until he breaks.
Yeah, he'll sign until he does it there. But again, it's just like a bunch of our teams. He's playing in the Metro. He sees a lot of great goaltending all season, for the good chunk of the season. So I know he's a prolific scorer. He's got a hell of a shot on the one-timer, but he's still seeing some of the best goaltending in the league more often than not. So it's definitely going to be next season.
19 Minnesota Wild, and this is really what's going to happen. What's going to happen with obviously their number one stud, Kirill Kaprizov, Marco Rossi. Someone they have in there. They missed the playoffs last year, obviously, but they have $14.743 million buyout cap charges for Parise and Suter again. I think they are a possible playoff team. Jonas Brodin, Foligno, Philip Gustafsson, Zug. But, I mean, I love Matthew Boldy, and I think he has a big year. Him and Brock Faber are fantastic, Americans. Joel Eriksson Ek is under
defensive prospects also in that system. So mediocre.
Marat, I always mess up this kid's name, but it's Marat Kuznetsov. He's from the KHL. He's a defenseman that one of the defensemen you're talking about, and he is going to be
the one that they
really
just drafted. Is really good.
Is that Olgren? Is it Liam Olgren?
I forget the freaking guy's name.
Yeah, they have a bunch of players. They have a bunch of prospects in general that are going to be fantastic.
I'll tell you what, Flowers leg pads for this season look disgusting.
I gotta say.
So him and Gustafsson will be.
I'll send it to the group.
And this will be obviously this will be Maff's final year. He's going to retire. Well, he says he's going to retire at the end of the year. Let's see what actually happens. But
Steven, do you think
maybe he'll stay on the ice crew?
Steven, yeah, right. Steven, do you think that Maff would pull one of those sign one day with Pittsburgh just retire a pen?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I wouldn't rule it out, but at this point, probably not.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I figure if anything, you would have went there for this final year.
No, I mean, not necessarily, because it all depends on where he can fit in the roster and everything like that.
He could have been a backup. No.
Well, I mean,
does he want to
they signed him instead of Nedeljkovic. They liked Nedeljkovic last year. I think he did an admirable job, but they also have, now two legitimate goalie prospects.
Who's their backup?
And you have to sign them.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But just Jesper Wallstedt, obviously the guy in Minnesota that could take both those jobs.
He just signed
eventually.
Contract.
Because I was going to say, because now Pittsburgh I have at 18. So Brandon Bilivius and Kevin Hayes and Sebastian Aho, the other Sebastian Aho, Matt Grzelcyk. They lose Riley Smith. Drew O'Connor, who Steven says. What?
They lose Riley Smith.
Yeah.
As if that's a negative.
Well, I need to have some sort of upper Steven for my team.
He's your line one right winger.
First line right winger. Oh God. But Crosby, Rust, O'Connor, and then your second line's gonna be Malkin with Oblivious and
nope.
I thought you said second line.
Bunting and Beauvillier is probably starting on the top line because Rust is probably out.
Oh,
he is. He's on IR. I thought they put him.
He's on IR.
Yeah, but he can be. He's retroactively put on there, so he can be. Today, he could have been cleared.
Jari and Ned, obviously, Eric Carlson, Letang, Rucka McGroarty, Delkovich. We said Ricard Raquel, obviously, he's going to be on second line, probably too.
Yep.
Bunting. Bunting. Hayes is going to be a third line center?
Fourth line center.
Fourth?
The third line will be. Third line, you'll have Lars Eller. You're probably starting the season because of Blake Lazat's injury. Starting the season with Rucker McGroarty, UC Puljujärvi, and Lars Eller.
He's been lighting it up, friggin' Yessi. I like to see him.
He's had an incredible preseason and training camp.
I hope that translates into the regular season.
I hope so too.
I was like everybody.
I mean, not only
He
for
was
my
a high
team, but
draft
just
pick.
based on that surgery he had, the double hip resurfacing surgery, whatever it's called.
I think Braden Point had that too.
Yeah, that's where
No,
they
he
shaved
didn't.
down
It's
like the
Patrick
nub.
Kane. Patrick
Ooh,
Kane was
yeah.
the other one who had it, and they're like the
Yeah.
only two who are coming back in some capacity after having this
Yeah.
surgery.
Rangers legend Patrick Kane.
Rangers legend.
Really
Number
tired. Who's
17, New York Islanders.
Ugh.
Ooh.
Skip.
94. They bring in
Skip.
Duclair. They lose Aho.
Skip.
But yeah,
Swipe left.
I think this might be a team that does not
They
swipe left.
already waived Engvall.
It already after what is he have like 6 years left.
Yeah.
It all depends on Sorokin, right? If Ilya Sorokin comes back and is as what he was 2 years ago, this is a playoff team.
Skip.
But if
I
not,
don't know if it all depends on Sorokin, but
I think most of it does. I mean,
I think
their
that's
top
it.
line.
He's
somehow
got to be a big
somehow
part
they
of it.
keep.
I think it all depends on friggin' Patrick Waugh. What the hell's in his friggin' mind?
Yeah.
Maybe.
The roster is
And
so
no
flawed.
one,
Somehow
not
it-
even Patrick Waugh knows what's in Patrick Waugh's mind.
That's what I'm saying. They're in trouble. He's such a friggin' wild card.
Horvat,
I
Barzal,
love him. I just can't wait till he's not their coach anymore, so I can go
Yeah.
back to really loving Patrick Waugh.
Horvat, Barzal, and Duclair are going to start, and then the second line I think is Nelson, Palmieri, and Anders Lee.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's not inspiring.
No,
Their
nothing
defense
about
is
their
also old.
lineup is
Pellick,
exciting.
Pollock, Mayfield, they all stink.
Nope.
Yeah, like I don't want to watch the Islanders play hockey.
No,
I mean, I
that's
don't like
horrible.
I don't
No.
like the Islanders, but just like looking at their lineup, I'm like, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
Or listen
Detroit
to
Red
it,
Wings.
because that's even worse, I think.
Oh my god!
Red Wings,
words- in the words-
Tarasenko.
In the words of Brian Griffin, is there a volume lower than mute
Pardon me.
when I'm listening to an Islanders game? That's
Red
what I
Wings
want.
bringing Tarasenko. They bring back Patty Kane. Jack Campbell is going to be in the net with Cam Talbot. They lose
He's in
Perron,
the player
Wallman.
assistance program right now, though.
Yep. Yeah, I heard that.
Yes.
hope he's,
Simon
Hopefully
Edvinsson,
he does okay.
The help he needs. Yeah.
good young defensive
bad for him.
prospect. Obviously Larkin, DeBrincat, Sider. We talked about Kane, but Lucas Raymond is fantastic.
Someone's gonna call.
And Eric Gustafsson on
Time
the
to
power
make the
play.
donuts.
Yep.
Yes.
Do you think they make the playoffs?
No, and I think Yzerman's in trouble.
You
It
didn't
might
ask
be.
me.
Yeah.
You didn't ask me if
I think he's
Pittsburgh
on the
was
hot
gonna make
seat.
the playoffs.
I think you think that Pittsburgh is going to make the playoffs. Yes.
No, I think they can make the playoffs. I don't know if they will, but I think. They
Well, we're gonna
Actually,
do our playoff.
I think they should.
Again.
They should make the playoffs.
Are we going
You-
to do our
you
way
guys
too
gonna give me-
early Stanley Cup picks?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're going to do everything. We're going to do playoffs and everything. So just hold on.
We still got to get through half the
Kings-
league here.
I know. Kings of 15. They bring in Edmondson and Fogle and Tanner Jeannot, Darcy Kemper. I actually think that this team does not make the playoffs.
I like
Bold
Byfield
prediction.
this season, though.
I like Byfield
Yeah.
a lot. Yes.
I feel good.
Yeah, he's extremely good. Drew Doughty is going to be out for months. It says month to month on his fractured
Jeez.
ankle.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
he's out for
Adrian
for a
Kempe
while.
is good for 35 tucks, but Kopitar is getting a year older. But yeah, Quinn Byfield
He's still
is
very good.
beast. I love him, and I think he's going to break 70. He could even be a point per game, 80-point player, just like
70
Lafreniere.
goals.
No,
70
not 70
points.
goals, 70 points. 14 Winnipeg Jets. Eric Comrie, Hayden Fleury, Cabo Kakin, and Colin Miller, Mason Shaw. They lose Brossois. I love Ehlers, and we'll see what he has on a backup. He's entering the final year on it. Final year on a 7-year contract. He made $6 million annually. I never realized he had got a 7-year, $6 million deal. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But is this team? How do you guys feel about the Jets? They're one of those like
They're an
50-50.
anomaly.
They
I
can be
thought
a
they were
surprise.
so good last
They're
year.
a wild
and then
card. They could be a very good surprise.
They're weird.
Listen,
I think they'll make
if
it.
Connor Hellebuck is Connor Hellebuck, then they're good, right?
Yeah.
Kyle Connor's a 40-goal scorer. Shifley is obviously a really good second-tier center. Perfetti could have a big year. Gabe Velarde had a really good year before he got hurt. I think Connor Hellebuck leads the U.S. to a 4 nations face-off victory. I think the U.S. wins.
I'll take that.
I can see that.
I'll take that.
Okay.
on
That'd
the
be
back
nice.
of Connor.
It's bold.
Bold.
It's bold
It's a
betting
bold
against
pick.
Crosby.
Well, yeah,
guys, it's
I'm an
every
American,
winner.
Steven. I'm an American. You can root for the Canadian.
So am I.
Jerk. Well, no,
I'm
you're
not
rooting
rooting for Canada.
apparently.
I'm just being a realist here.
I say blame
Tampa-
Canada is what I say.
Blame Canada. Yeah, Kemper's also there. Tampa Bay, Schwim, Cam Atkinson, Zemgus Jurgensons. They also bring in some guy named Jake Gensel, and Ryan McDonough's back. They lose
Which I
Duke.
love.
Huge loss
That's
for
a big ad.
Anthony Duclair. Tanner Jeannot, they got 1 pick back from the 7 that they dealt for.
Yep. I'll take it.
Listen, you lose Stammer, but you gain somebody Gensel that's better overall.
Did they
just
name
in
a
general.
captain?
Yeah, Hedman.
Hedman.
Okay.
Yep, new captain. Obviously, he was born for that kind of role. He's been one of the leaders, vocal leaders in there forever. You can't get past the idea that Ryan McDonough was such a big loss for that team.
Yeah,
and
he was.
He comes back, and he's going to be a little bit older and a little bit slower, but he's still a top
He's still one of the
defensive
best
defenseman.
You got to be careful with those. Those guys drop off a cliff.
They do.
Somebody
Dan
touches
Girardi.
a light. Just
Dan
the light
Girardi.
switch goes off, and they are.
I wouldn't put Dan
awful.
Girardi
Not
on the
even
same boat as
serviceable.
Ryan
They're
McDonough.
Hold on, but if you and I know Ryan McDonough's better. I'm not going to say he's not better, but if you look at Dan Girardi and his stats when he was really good, he was a top defensive defenseman, like one of the best, and he just took a tank and got so bad. Him and Mark Stahl, they went from like really good shutdown defensive
Again,
when
Mark
we were going to
Stahl,
the cup final with
anywhere near.
I'm not saying that they
Ryan
are, but I'm just
McDonough.
saying those guys just like Steven said, light switch. They are horrible. So listen,
but
Bruce
we're
Ball
talking
brings
about
in
Ryan McDonough, though. I think
know.
he's a step above these guys. So
But he
I'm
could
hoping
go
that
back.
doesn't happen. But I'm saying, like, he's not going to fall off a cliff like a Dan Girardi or a Mark Stahl would. Yeah, you expect those guys to.
I like JJ Moser
Brian-
for you guys a lot. I
Brian
think he's going to be a
Dumoulin,
very good
Ross
defenseman.
He's on the top pair with Hedman.
Yeah. Listen, Cooch, Point, Hagel.
I think Brian
talked about
Dumoulin, for a
Gensel.
long chunk of his career, was one of the most underrated defensive defensemen in the entire league. And then he was just straight trash out of nowhere. I wouldn't even call it a shadow of his former self. He just was a completely different player. I hope it doesn't happen to McDonough. I like him, and obviously for Tampa's sake, but you just got to temper expectations with guys like that because you never know when it's coming.
Yeah. Shrim, my bold prediction for you. I say that Point gets 50 and Gensel gets 40.
Okay.
What's the over-under on Shrim sleeping on the couch somewhere?
Oh, that's
during the season.
You get bad odds. You got real bad odds
wait
for that.
Friday.
I'm sure.
You better not wake up your beautiful baby girl, being a hound that you are.
Sleeping. She'll be awake at that point when the game.
She's going to do the big daddy celebrations. You got to start practicing those.
Yes.
Number 12, the Vegas Golden Knights. 98 points. They lost in the first round. They bring in Alexander Holtz, who I think is going to score 30 goals this year. Victor Olofsson, Ilya Samsonov. I think that's a big, bad trade for the New Jersey Devils, and I love it. I think Steven also agrees with me. Paul Cotter, Anthony Mantha, Marcia So. Marcia being a big hit on them. Aiden Hill and Samsonov tandem. Shorts guy. Is that a cup-winning tandem?
They've already won it with one of them.
Well, I was going to say it's really hard. It's really hard to bet against what Sean Burke did with Vegas with their goaltending battalion when they won.
Yeah,
all you got to do is get to the playoffs, and maybe Aiden Hill can do it again. Obviously they're banking on Aiden Hill and Samsonov to be their pair. If Schmid can find his groove again and do well, he could be right there with them on it. Is it cup winning? I don't know. It depends on what the rest of the team in front of them does, because when we were out there in March, Steve was pointing out, like, I don't think anyone on that roster was below 6 foot. Like, that's a big team.
Yeah, they're big boys. I also think Akira Schmid is like the second coming of the Hamburglar. What was that goalie's name?
Could be.
He came in and
he
was
Andrew Hammond.
Hammond.
Andrew Hammond.
Yeah.
Came in, had that,
by the way, you
that
said
awesome streak, and then went right back to being a fifth string goalie.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I'll take that type of string.
F you, Bert. Rashid Shaheed, 43-yard touchdown. Suck it, Brett.
By the way, you said Paul Cotter was on Vegas?
No,
he
he
was
lost.
Departure. Yeah.
Oh, Departure. Okay, I was going to say, wait a minute.
Listen, they have Eichel, Barbashev, Stone, Holtz, Hurdle, and Carlson in their top six.
And their defense is phenomenal.
Yeah, their defense, Theodore, Pietrangelo, Haig, Hannafin, McNabb, Whitecloud, Hutton. Like, this team is a playoff contender. They're a Stanley Cup. They're a major Stanley Cup contender.
They know how to win. That's the thing with Vegas.
I don't think they're a major Stanley Cup contender, but they're certainly. I would put them in the contender.
Would you put
conversation?
What 5 teams would you put ahead of them? Of like major Stanley Cup contenders.
I don't want to put Edmonton
in the West
because of Edmonton, but
in general,
Edmonton,
Dallas,
Colorado, Florida.
But my point is, they're right about there, right?
Yeah. Okay.
They're definitely one of the top teams, but I don't think they're like the team to beat.
No, but they're a major.
I would
contender.
say in the West. I would say in the West that
they're top 3.
Probably Edmonton.
4.
Well, no, probably. I think probably Edmonton, Dallas, and Colorado. I'd put ahead of them.
Yeah. So they're 4 or 5, depending on how you want to put Vancouver Canucks. Yeah.
I don't even know about the East. Who knows? Besides Florida, I don't know.
I don't know. Florida's going to
surprise some people.
They might have a big drop off.
Yeah, they're still good.
They also could. But you got to give them. They just won the cup, so you got to put them up there.
Well, they've been playing a lot of hockey the last 2 years, so they have run out of gas.
And Tampa went through that, and then they
went through 3 in a row, and then
how long can you keep that pace of play that they play?
It's tough.
The physicality, not even the pace, just that physicality that they bring. It breaks down the body. And you play that for so long. Yeah, I can see that. But, I mean, I'll put them in there just because they're defending Cup champions. So you got to put them in the conversation.
I can see them starting. I can see them starting slow because of all of that.
Yeah, Vegas says that
I could see the opposite happening. I could see them, starting off fine and then running out of steam because of all the hockey
that could be a possibility too.
The last couple, and then they completely burn out at the end of the season, and who knows?
Yeah.
Michael says that Vegas fans aren't happy with the Cotter trade. I think they're going to be very happy with it coming into the season.
They don't need a Paul Cotter. They just don't need that team.
They needed a Holtz. They needed a good young forward.
I'd much rather have Holtz than
with upside.
Cotter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Devils fans you have to validate this trade your other way because I understand it, but I think at the end of the year you're not going to be happy with the overall.
Well, I think the Devils. So and where the Devils made out is that the Devils needed that third, fourth round physical player that they were only that was the only place they were putting Holtz. That's the only place they were putting Holtz.
Yeah, they're playing Holtz on the bottom of the line.
But the point is, you gave up a first. You gave up a first.
Yes.
A first round top 10
pick. They gave up a more talented player
for a fourth line
player.
Yeah,
to get a role player that fits the roster need more than what they need for Holtz. So maybe it wasn't
horrible value.
It wasn't exactly 1-for-1. No, I agree, but I think the Devils got back a player that they needed. So it's not like they just got some lousy scrub who's going to be useless. He fits what that roster needed, and that's what I always talk about the trade. Not to take up too much time, but the trade deadline when guys just go out and get the the flashiest, shiniest new toy instead of actually filling what the roster could benefit from. And I think that's what the Devils got back. And I think what Vegas got back helps them more because they needed more skill. They needed more goal scoring in their lineup because they're a monstrous team that has enough physicality as is. They don't need more Paul Cotter types.
And a quick good example for that, Edmonton spending a first-round pick in the trade deadline to get Adam Henrique, who very much helped them make the Cup final. Like, it's Steven's point about position. 10, Vancouver Canucks.
Can the Devils fan comment real quick?
Oh, yeah, sure. Let's hear about the
Holtz
sunshine and roses.
No, Holtz had every opportunity, and it didn't work out for whatever reason. But all you want. But it's one of those things where sometimes you have to cut your losses with
he did
with
a
the
lot
player
with
like
the little
that.
he was given.
Yeah, he
wasn't given a whole lot of opportunity, and he did a lot with it.
I don't know about that.
A lot of other guys could have with
But you want to know what though?
Time.
Steve, and there were times where he looked phenomenal, but if Fitzy's going to to let a player like that go. And yes, we needed a Paul Cotter type of player. You know what? Sometimes you have to. This is what you have to do to make that space for who you want on the team. And if there were,
that's bad asset management.
So you know what? You got to cut your losses and go. It doesn't matter. I know why you're hoping. You're just hoping that I'm going to be pissed off at the end of the season because of what he did.
Yeah.
But,
yes. Yeah.
But you know what though? He had every opportunity, and yeah, I know he wasn't getting the top line minutes, but I mean, it is what it is. He got traded, and he's gone.
Can't do shit with. They did not put him in. They never put him in a position to succeed.
They did not.
And if they gave him any slight opportunity to, it was very short lived. And he didn't stay there.
Listen, the Rangers have done this multiple times.
But we also don't. I know how you're feeling. But we also don't know if there was bad blood on his side. And he said, "I want out." If he wants out,
I'm sure he would. I can't imagine why he would want to stay there.
Why would you want to stay there?
So you know what though? Then let him go get a fresh start somewhere. It's
you know what though? I am interested.
If he does well, good.
I would have been very interested to see Holtz with a new coach.
Yeah. Yes, it would have been interesting to see him in this new system.
Especially
but at the same time,
favors offense.
Yeah. But at the same time, we also don't know if Holtz was just ready to get out. He just wanted out, wanted nothing to do with the organization. If that's the case, then you got to send him somewhere.
Yeah.
And you know what? We'll see at the end of the season. But I'm not going to cry over a trade if he does well. If he does well, good for him. Just like if Vanacek does well, good for him.
RFA at the end of this year, right? I think his 3-year entry level is up this year.
I think it's RFA.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
He's 2 seasons already under his belt, right? Professionally.
Yeah. I believe so.
Between the AHL and so.
Yeah.
Maybe wouldn't have signed. So.
Friend of the podcast, Brock Besser, his Vancouver Canucks, 109 points, lost in the second round, Game 7 to Edmonton Oilers. They bring in Jake DeBrusk, and we talked about Dan Heinen, Daniel Sprong, Vincent Desharnais, Elias Lindholm's gone. Same thing with Vasily Podkolzin and Nikita Zadorov. Good riddance. But this is a team that very much not. I think they have to make the Western Conference Finals, and I think it's more likely a cup or bust kind of year for these guys.
They need Demko.
Yeah,
Demko. They don't do it without.
He's going to miss like a month.
Bottom line,
they said.
Listen, Seelovs is good. He's going to be a good goaltender.
He could miss more.
He's good, but he's not a Demko. And I need Demko to come back because he's on my roster.
Yeah,
you do.
Elias Pettersson's going to have a big
want
year.
Him to come back just because he's another good American boy.
They're going to be in my top top 4 for this season. So we'll see how that goes.
So much of Vancouver just weighs on whether or not Demko comes back, and his injury, from what people are saying. But again, people say everything. Nobody is an expert, but you hear this, you hear that, and it's just his injury is something that there is like no resolving. He just kind of has to live with it.
Nashville Predators, they bring in the big guns: Marcia So, Luke Shen, Brady Shea, Steven Stamkos. I was waiting for someone to. I was looking for a little. Yeah, Luke Shen.
I love Luke Shen.
Askarov's gone. Tyson Barrie's gone. Abilius. I'm just gonna keep saying
Cody Glass.
Jason Zucker, Cody Glass. Yep. Tommy Novak is a good player to have with Marcia So and Stammer.
Evangelista,
we love him. Listen, Roman Josi is one of the top 5 defensemen in the league. He is nasty. Burnett, another guy that the Devils probably should have kept. Fantastic coach. I just love giving little digs here. I know they're a playoff team, right? They're a playoff team, right? But is this a cup contender? A serious cup contender?
It's so hard that I can know because I think that. Well, I mean, you never know.
They have to
get
big years from Forsberg and what's his name, the center, cup winner for St. Louis. Why am I blanking on the center's name?
Ryan
Riley. They have to have big years from him.
Yeah, and Saros has to be Saros, right? He's got to be the Vezina Trophy Saros. But I still don't think. I mean, there's so many unknowns because they brought in. They made the biggest splash in free agency, but now you got to see how it pans out because there's no guarantee that everything's going to click. Even though you went out and you got the best free agents that were out there, I think they'll definitely be better. I assume that they'll make the playoffs. They kind of have to. I wouldn't expect anything less, but I still think you got those teams that I mentioned before. I still think they're better. I still think Dallas is a better team. Colorado's a better team. They got to get through, those guys first, and that's no easy task.
Yeah, Trotz had a good first year as a GM. So
yeah,
Carolina Hurricanes, they're losing Gensel and Nason and Teravainen and Pesci and Shea, but they got a pretty good two defensemen in Gostisbehere and Walker on the cheap. They're obviously lost the second round to the Rangers. They are perennial, playoff contender and cup hopeful. They bring in Roslovic and a few other guys. How big of a step back do these guys take?
I don't think it's going to be that drastic, but I imagine. I mean, there's some pretty significant losses that they suffered in this offseason.
Are they in danger of missing the playoffs?
No,
I think they're third, third in the division.
You think they make the playoffs no matter what? Okay.
Yeah, 2-3.
Okay.
I still think they're probably 2-3. Yeah, they'll probably still be around there.
I'm thinking
you got Brindamore. You got Brindamore at the helm. He's. I mean, granted, he hasn't had any success in the playoffs, but I mean, he has never disappointed in the regular season at least.
He'll get him there.
Yeah, like I said, he should be able to get him there, but then playoffs happen and the rest is history.
Boston Bruins, they bring in Elias Lindholm and Zadorov and Korpisalo, but obviously the big get was the new contract they just signed for their goaltender and Swayman. Listen, Pasta is a first-round superstar. McAvoy is overrated, but he's still a top defenseman, one of the top defensemen. Does Jim Montgomery have to get to the Eastern Conference Finals to save his job?
No.
I don't think so.
See, I think this is a big year for him. Boston's continually underachieved in the playoffs the last 3 years.
They were supposed to be one of the worst in the East last year in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I mean
they won the Presidents, right? And then
that was 3 years ago, right? 3 years ago?
Yeah, not last season, the season prior, right? They won the Presidents.
No, I thought it was them, then
round.
Colorado, then the Rangers, and then this year. It was 3 years ago. Anyways, whatever it matters.
They were supposed to be terrible last year. So
maybe whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, with losing Bergeron and Krejci, everyone's like, well, they're going to be trash, and
and their Pavelzaka stepped up. Yeah.
Yeah, I still think they're going to be, but I don't think his at least it shouldn't. His job should not be in jeopardy if they don't make these finals.
Plus, it's probably going to take Swayman a little bit to get into the swing of everything.
Yeah, no training camp.
No training camp, no preseason.
Yeah, we're talking about him starting tomorrow. They're saying
he might
start,
which is wild.
Imagine that.
Is wild if he does.
He's like
2 practices with the team or 3, whatever it is.
He's been practicing with BU. He's been practicing with BU for the while, and I know they're not.
It's not like he's been sitting on the couch, but
yeah.
Elias Lindholm does help that team because it starts to put guys like Zaka and Coyle down into their real spots where they should go.
Talk about underachiever.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with him. Toronto Maple Leafs at 6. Now we're getting top 5. Obviously, Marner, the whole crew, right? They have a new coach and Berube, thank you.
Berube.
1967.
What happens with their goaltenders is going to be a big question. Does Joseph Wall stay healthy? Obviously, Stolarz is a good backup. Tavares is, not their captain anymore. It's Austin Matthews. But they have still, Matthews is making $13 million a year. Nylander $11.5. Tavares is $9 million. Marner's, 9 something. They have ridiculous in terms of that. Morgan Riley's also high up there. Do you think they re-sign Marner in the offseason coming up, and do they make it past the second round?
The second question is a lot tougher than the first.
Yeah. The first one is also. It depends.
Well, do you think he gets re-signed there?
Goes.
Yeah.
It depends on how the season goes. I think he'll resign there.
Yeah.
I like Matthew Nyes, by the way.
Playoffs,
he's going to be on the line with Matthews. Yeah. He's going to get 60 points.
They're going to have to pull they're going to have to pull what Edmonton did with questionable goaltending and hope that it gets them further than it
I think Wall, if he's healthy, is better.
If he's healthy, he's great. Yeah. If he's great, because he played very well last year for them, and then he was hurt, and then it was the end. But still, it's them in Edmonton. They don't like to buy goaltenders. Especially
because they brought in Tanev for big money over a long term, which is crazy. Tanev's going to be good in the first year, but OEL, they couldn't have spent more money to get a better goaltender instead of wasting money on Oliver.
They never do. They never
it's
do.
Crazy. Ugh. I'd rather have Samsonov.
Matt Murray's still there.
Yeah, Matt Murray's still there.
Penguins legend Matt Murray.
Yeah, Penguins legend Matt Murray.
He is the legend.
Waiver
stops.
Number 5, New York Rangers. 114 points, lost in the conference finals. Carrick, Riley Smith. They lose Barca, Goudreau, Wenberg. Trouba's still a piece of garbage that needs to
they
leave.
lose Goudreau, or they
lost him. They lost him
out.
technically. Technically, they lost him. Listen, the whole thing with Trouba, I understand his family. He didn't want to leave. He had the power to do it, so he did it. That's fine. Lafreniere, though, full blown, is going to have a big year coming up. Kapokako, we'll see what happens with him. He could get traded. But Igor, we'll see what happens with his contract extension and what he makes. They're talking about
screw you.
11
that
million.
could screw you.
Yeah, but it's still going to be it's going to be the same
11.
percentage as what Henrik Lundqvist got when he was, with the team, which is like 13%, which is going to be less than, a lot of the big time stars anyway. So I'm okay with that. But Philip Hedl, what happens with him? Kreider and Mika. Biggest question mark is Mika Zibanejad, who has sucked horribly in the playoffs. Panarin had a decent postseason, but he's still, a guy that flashes in the regular season and doesn't have a big playoffs. I don't have any hope that this team does anything big until I see what happens at the trade deadline. I think that's going to be big in terms of, how this team's outlook for the rest of the season goes. Because right now they're the same team that went to the conference finals and lost. So if they can do something big in the trade deadline, which they'll have $6 to $7 million to spend, I
don't win the President's Trophy.
Yeah, don't win the President's Trophy. I don't think they're going to.
Number 1.
But Trocheck had a great year. Same thing. Fox, is a guy that had a okay season, needs to get better. But I mean, they're really hoping that Alexis Lafreniere becomes a point per game player, which he could. He really could.
For Tampa?
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're going to
number
sell
4.
High. Trade to Tampa.
Number 4, Colorado Avalanche, 107 points, lost in the second round. Calvin DeHaan, Parker Kelly, Jacob McDonald, Oliver Shillington. They have 2 guys that are taking up a lot of their cap in Landeskog and
Nichushkin.
Nichushkin, thank you. That aren't going to be around to start the season. They have to keep that cap open. So they have a lot of guys that are not going to, that are young and making peanuts in their, bottom 6. Eustace and Noonan could become a, full-time NHL player and maybe even beat out Georgiev. They have Kovalenko who's going to make his debut. He's a prospect winger that looks like he could be very good for this team. You guys think this team is
another kid,
Richie,
also another prospect. I don't know if he made the team or not, but
I don't know if I saw him.
He's a really skilled forward that they have now there too.
What's your thoughts on the Avs? You think they have a better year this year in Western Conference Finals team?
They're still there. I don't know that they're better, but I think they're definitely still there.
They're still a very good team. They'll be up there. I don't know if they're
definitely
make it to the cup and win the cup or anything like that. I don't think I'll go that far, but
I think they can.
Any of those top 4 teams can do that, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't pick them. I think they can still go far, but I wouldn't pick them really to win the cup.
Yeah, they still got sometimes it's like I know they only won 1 cup, but even still, it's hard to bet against McKinnon.
Yes,
he could have another huge.
He is so
season.
good.
Not to leave out Makar, but it's hard to bet against McKinnon.
Yeah.
Kale Macker or Maker?
Yeah,
Kale Maker. Yep. Unbelievable.
All right, number 3, Dallas Stars. Steven, why don't you tell me about your brother's favorite team?
What do you want me to tell you about them? I don't have any information in front of me, so you can read off the list of their acquisitions and losses.
Have you skipped a team, William?
113 points. What team?
William has skipped a team.
What team did I skip?
I wonder.
Well, no, I have Stars are 3. 2 is going to be Edmonton Oilers, and 1 is the Panthers. Who did I miss?
I don't know. some team that is pretty
Did
close
you go
to me
from
right now.
from 5 to 3?
No, I said
feel
the
like you
Rangers
skipped-
already. Rangers
like you
were
skipped the
5,
Devils.
4 was Colorado. What I mean,
what'd you have?
Devils we talked about. They were
Yeah,
number
well,
11.
I totally spaced on it.
Were
Yeah, we
they
talked
around
about-
the time when we were talking about Vegas and Devils? We were talking the same
Yeah.
time. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then
I
we talked
spaced. I
about
was talking about Vegas.
no, we talked
Anyway,
about
moving on.
their team. I didn't miss them. I knew they were in there. I even said they were the 2-0 undefeated New Jersey Devils.
Well,
All right, Dallas Stars, 113 points. Colin Blackwell, Matt Dumba, Labushkin, Brendan Smith. Wyatt Johnson is obviously a beast of a winger for them right now. He's played really great for them. But you got the old stars, Jamie Benn, Sagan. They need big years from a bunch of guys,
Duchesne.
including Duchesne too. Logan Stankoven is a high ceiling rookie. Liam Bichelle, Miro Heiskanen, Thomas Harley. Their defense is really good. Peter DeBoer, coach, sucks. Maverick Bork's a good young winger coming in. Essa Lindell. They need more from Robertson and the center, number 1 center. Oh my God, my brain today.
Hence,
Um,
Rupe.
Hintz. They need more for them in order to
I mean,
to be
maybe
a
Rupe
cup winner.
Hintz is pretty consistent. He's been awesome
In the playoffs, he was not though.
consistently. Yeah, I mean, not as I guess Robertson has
They need-
definitely disappeared,
You need
and
Ottinger
it's
to be
obviously
healthy.
his goal scoring went down.
Ottinger's the other
Johnson
one.
was great.
Steve and I were
Ottinger
talking
needs
about
to be
him.
better.
Yes.
He needs to be better and healthy. Yep. I think Michu wants to come in.
Shorts guy, anything on
Let
Dallas?
Leach in. I mean, Dallas could still do it if if they're able to. I know you don't like DeBoer, but DeBoer is able to keep him consistent in the last couple of years, and Ottinger is the key to everything.
Losing Pavelski hurts.
It does hurt.
But they should still. I think they're still tops in the West.
Yeah, they're going to be
Mhm.
nasty. Sorry, I wrote something down.
It's okay.
Number 2, we just talked about it. Edmonton Oilers, Arvidsson, Vasily Podkolzin, Skinner. They lose Broberg. They lost 3 of their top 7 defensemen. Not that they were great. Desharnais, Broberg, and Cody Ceci. Evan Bouchard is almost a point per game defenseman. He had a great playoffs, by the way. Obviously Connor McDavid joined 2 players, one by the name of Gretzky, one by the name of Lemieux, as the only players to score 40 points in a playoffs, or more than 40 points in a playoffs. They are very good. This is my Wayne Gretzky stat of the day for you guys. Wayne Gretzky in his 1985-86 season, 215 points. The previous non-Gretzky record was 152 points, which is a 41% increase. To put that in perspective, for an NFL quarterback to break the single-season passing touchdown record by 41%, they would need to throw 78 touchdowns. And then for an MLB player to break the single-season home run record by 41%, they would need to hit 103 home runs.
Jeez.
Bring
Wayne
back the
Gretzky.
roids.
Yeah. Let's
Bring
roid
back-
everybody up
I-
and see what happens.
I swear my hat size is growing by natural causes. I swear
I just want
it's
to see some
natural.
dingers.
There he
There he
is.
That's William. There's William.
With sizzling.
Williams,
Oh my
strange
God.
father.
That is just so
I said
scary.
that. I said that the other night. And
That's so awful.
I'm like, I'm not saying anything. Just look at this picture.
Oh my God, that's awful.
Oh.
Listen, Evan Bouchard's really good. Draisaitl, McDavid. This is a cup contender. They need to win this because I really do think, even though they signed Draisaitl to a massive contract, $14 million per year,
Now's their time.
I could
gotta do it.
see McDavid not signing if they really don't do well.
I mean, I don't think they're ever going to not do well with this roster,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but I
And
think they
winning
need
it-
to
I
win a
think
cup.
that sucks
is
for
different.
McDavid because I think they're going to just
Yeah.
keep doing really good and almost get there and not quite get there. And he's going to be like, all right, I'm going to hang around because we're almost there. And then they just never get there. And then he's
Mm.
old and on Edmonton his entire life and then never wins a cup.
But Arvidsson and Skinner are good ads for a team that already has offense. They just got Arvidsson's a very good
I guess.
underrated player. I
Yeah.
like him a lot. Stuart Skinner, listen, I don't think he's great, but He'll do just enough, and then they're going to put Evander Kane on the LTIR special, so he'll return for the playoffs. Number 1, Florida Panthers, Stanley Cup champion, 110 points, beating Edmonton, and they lose Brett Lomberg, Montour, OEL, not really a big loss, Stolarz. They add Jesper Boquist, Thomas Nosek, who I like Nosek, Gustav Forsling, very good defensive defenseman. Eric Blad is going to have a better power play, better numbers on the power play because they're losing Montour.
Montour's gone.
But Bobrovsky's still there. Chris Drieger, Matthew Tkachuk, Barkov, Sam Reinhart, Boquist on D is probably a cup hangover, but
Maybe.
do you think they could repeat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess they could. I think they could come out of the East again.
If they get
if
the
they can keep up
Bobrovsky
the pace,
who brought him there,
Yes, it depends on Bob.
If Bob goes back to being like he was, they're in big trouble. But if he can keep playing like he's been playing the last couple of years, I don't see why they can't win the division.
He worried me in that Edmonton series in those games that they lost because he was real bad.
Usually, like when he's bad, he is bad.
Yeah.
And then, but I don't know, he's been able to bounce back pretty well lately. So hopefully he can keep it up. And did they send Spencer Knight down and Drieger's the backup?
Yeah, if I saw Drieger's the backup. All right, we'll do our MVP, Norris, all those picks next week because we could run out of time. It's been a little bit over an hour and a half. But
overtime.
We need to do our annual picks. So I want to know who's your Eastern.
I think we can leave that. We can leave that for next week.
Yeah, we'll do that next week. When everything else,
right.
we'll do it all together.
next
Do our Stanley Cup picks and our awards picks.
Yeah,
and our
that sounds good.
Crazy picks.
And how many goals Connor Sheary will score this year?
Yeah.
Will it be more than 4?
Will it be more than one handful of fingers?
Will you be able to count on a second hand the amount of goals Connor Sheary scores this year? I'm going to say no. And he's on their second line.
He was on Pittsburgh's first line. For that Stanley Cup.
And everyone that's why they want to keep him there. He's like, he had all the success he had all the success. This was ages ago. He's not the same player.
Then he came back and tried it again, and he couldn't do it. So, and he already lost. He lost that role in the 17 Cup. He wasn't even playing on that line anymore. That was Jakey.
I don't know. And I don't see him. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping maybe Geekie will step up because Geekie's gonna be on the third line and actually get more minutes, not be a fourth line player. Maybe he'll wow on the third line and Sheary will suck and they'll move Geekie up. Who knows? What I really would like them to do, and I forget. I don't know how old he is anymore. Trade for Yanni Gord. Bring Yanni Gord back.
Ooh,
and put him on the second line. Have a line of Gord, Cirelli, and Hagel, who are just nonstop motors for that team, and get rid of Sheary.
Wasn't that the third line? No, they didn't have Hagel.
No. Yeah. So that's what I would like. I would like to see it, but I don't know. Just
Chris Paul's brother Nick is playing third line center, right?
Yeah, he's third line center. He's going to be with Geekie and
I present to you
Atkinson.
He's horrible.
Connor Sheary 2.0 is Atkinson. So I'm not expecting anything from either of them.
All right. Beer ranking. My Bolero Snort, I'll give a 4-5. Very good. And then this 1911 Cherry Pie, 4.
Oh. Mine was a 4. I enjoyed.
Give it a 4.5. I love this stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
This new brewery is pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yang
That surprised me.
Boom.
I like it. All right. Shrim, take her home.
I love you guys. Let's have a great season of the pod and of the NHL season. And go Bolts.
Go Rangers.